Directing Sarah, Samuel began, his voice a low rumble that commanded attention, is more than just calling action and cut.
The air crackled with anticipation. It buzzed around the edges of the bustling film set. A veteran director, Samuel, sat perched on his director's chair. He held the script in his hand, his eyes scanning the page with laser focus. Beside him stood his eager assistant Sarah, her notepad open and pen poised. She hung on his every word, ready to capture the gems of wisdom he was about to impart.
It's about breathing life into words, transforming ink on paper into a living, breathing world.
Sarah nodded eagerly, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and excitement. She had always been drawn to the magic of cinema, the way it could transport audiences to different worlds and evoke a kaleidoscope of emotions. To be a part of the creative force behind that magic was a dream come true.
It's like being a conductor, isn't it? Bringing together all these different elements, the actors, the lighting, the music, into one harmonious whole.
Precisely, Samuel exclaimed, a slow smile spreading across his face. He appreciated her eagerness to learn, her innate understanding of the delicate balance that directing required.
But unlike a conductor, we don't have the luxury of rehearsals. Every take is a performance, a delicate dance between planning and improvisation.
He tapped the script with his index finger, emphasizing its importance. This, he said, is our blueprint, the foundation upon which we build our world. He knew firsthand the power of a well-written script, how it could serve as a roadmap for the entire production. But it's not just about following the words on the page, Samuel continued, his voice taking on a thoughtful tone. It's about understanding the subtext, the unspoken emotions that lie beneath the surface. He believed that true cinematic brilliance lay in the spaces between the lines, in the subtle glances and pregnant pauses that spoke volumes. A good director, he explained, needs to be able to read between the lines, to understand the characters' motivations and desires even when they're not explicitly stated. He stressed the importance of empathy in storytelling, the ability to step into the shoes of the characters and see the world through their eyes. Sarah listened intently, absorbing his words like a sponge. She had always been a voracious reader, but Samuel's perspective added a whole new dimension to her understanding of storytelling. It wasn't just about the plot, she realized, but about the emotional journey of the characters.
Take this scene, for example, Samuel said, flipping to a page in the script. The dialogue is simple, almost banal, but the subtext is rife with tension and unspoken longing.
He pointed to a particular line, his finger tapping on the page. "How would you direct this scene, Sarah?" he asked, his eyes twinkling with a challenge. He wanted to push her, to make her think critically about the choices a director makes.
I think I would use a lot of close-ups, she finally ventured, to capture the characters' subtle facial expressions and body language.
Good, Samuel nodded, encouraging her to elaborate. He could see the gears turning in her mind, the way she was beginning to grasp the nuances of directing. The camera is our eye, Samuel explained, and lighting is our paintbrush. Together, they allow us to create mood, atmosphere, and to guide the audience's gaze. He believed that cinematography was an art form in itself, one that could make or break a film. A low-angle shot can make a character appear powerful and imposing, he continued, while a high-angle shot can make them seem vulnerable and insignificant. He demonstrated with his hands, using the space around him as a makeshift film set.
And then there's music, he added, his voice taking on a dreamy quality. Music has the power to evoke emotions in a way that words sometimes can't.
He hummed a few bars of a haunting melody, the sound hanging in the air between them. Think of it as a symphony of elements, Samuel concluded, his eyes gleaming with passion, each one playing its part to create a cohesive and emotionally resonant experience. Being a director is not for the faint of heart, Samuel said, his voice taking on a more serious tone. It's a demanding job, one that requires a singular vision and an unwavering commitment to your craft. You'll face challenges, setbacks, and moments of self-doubt, he warned. But it's in those moments that you have to dig deep, to draw on your passion and your belief in the story you're trying to tell. Remember, he said, placing a hand on her shoulder, you are the captain of this ship. The buck stops with you. He knew the weight of responsibility that came with the director's chair, the pressure to make countless decisions, both big and small. Sarah looked at him, a mixture of excitement and trepidation in her eyes. She knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but she was determined to prove herself worthy of his guidance. A director is only as good as their team, Samuel said, his voice softening. Surround yourself with talented individuals who share your vision and are willing to collaborate. He emphasized the importance of teamwork in filmmaking, the way that each department contributed to the final product.
The cinematographer will paint with light, he explained.
The production designer will build your world, and the costume designer will clothe your characters.
He stressed the importance of clear communication and mutual respect. But it's not just about delegating tasks, Samuel continued. A good director is also a good listener, open to suggestions and willing to adapt their vision when necessary. He believed that the best ideas often came from unexpected sources. Sarah nodded, taking mental notes. She had always been a team player, but Samuel's words made her realize the importance of fostering a collaborative and creatively stimulating environment. Sometimes, Samuel said, a mischievous glint in his eye, the best ideas come from the most unexpected places. He believed in embracing spontaneity, in allowing for happy accidents to occur. Don't be afraid to deviate from the script, he encouraged. Sometimes an improvised line or a spontaneous camera movement can add a touch of magic that you never could have planned for. He recounted a time when an off-script moment from an actor had transformed a scene, elevating it to new heights. Keep your eyes open and your mind receptive, he advised. Inspiration can strike at any moment in the most mundane of places. He believed that the world was full of stories waiting to be told, if only one knew where to look. Sarah smiled, inspired by his unconventional wisdom. She had always been a bit of a rule follower, but Samuel's words gave her the courage to embrace the unknown and to trust her instincts. A film is more than just entertainment, Samuel said, his voice filled with conviction. It has the power to educate, to inspire, and to spark important conversations. He believed in the transformative power of cinema, its ability to connect with audiences on a deep and meaningful level. Choose stories that matter, he urged. Stories that challenge, that provoke, that stay with the audience long after the credits have rolled. He felt a responsibility to use his platform for good, to shed light on social injustices and to give a voice to the voiceless. Cinema is a mirror to society, he continued. It reflects our hopes, our fears, and our deepest desires. He believed that filmmakers had a duty to hold a mirror up to the world, to expose its flaws and to celebrate its triumphs. Sarah listened intently, her heart swelling with a newfound sense of purpose. She realized that directing wasn't just a job, it was a calling, a way to make a difference in the world. The films we make, Samuel said, his voice filled with a quiet pride, they will outlive us. They will become part of the cultural tapestry passed down from generation to generation. He felt a deep sense of responsibility to create work that would stand the test of time. Strive for excellence in everything you do, he advised. Pour your heart and soul into every project and never compromise your vision. He believed that true art came from a place of authenticity and passion. Leave behind a legacy that you can be proud of, he concluded, his eyes twinkling with a mixture of hope and expectation. He had no doubt that Sarah would go on to achieve great things, to leave her own unique mark on the world of cinema. Sarah nodded, her heart filled with a mixture of gratitude and determination. She knew that she had much to learn, but she was eager to embark on this journey, guided by the wisdom of her mentor. The sun began to set, casting long shadows across the bustling film set. The day was coming to an end, but for Sarah it felt like a beginning. She had been given a rare glimpse into the mind of a master storyteller, a glimpse that had ignited a fire within her. She thanked Samuel for his time and his invaluable insights, her heart overflowing with gratitude. She knew that she would carry his words with her always, a constant source of inspiration and guidance. As she walked away from the set, the sounds of the city fading into the background, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she was on the cusp of something truly special. The world of cinema, once a distant dream, now felt within her grasp.
And as she stepped out into the warm glow of the setting sun, she knew that she was ready to tell her own stories, to share her own unique vision with the world. The journey ahead would be challenging, but she was determined to make her mark, to leave behind a legacy that would inspire generations to come. The power of cinema, she realized, lay not just in its ability to entertain, but in its ability to connect with audiences on a deeply human level, to make them feel seen, heard, and understood. And that, she knew, was a responsibility she didn't take lightly. The world was waiting for her stories, and she was ready to tell them.